Alright, well, here we are down on the Kangaroo Island coastline. Fantastic stuff. Right on location here. Got a nice board and paint and of course a beautiful day. So this is going to be fantastic. Cannot wait to get stuck into it. Love plein air painting, as you know. Right, basic colour pattern, not a lot of stuff. I'll explain what's happening as I go on and we'll see how we go. What I reckon I'll do is just start blocking in a few of the darks first and then try and work out everything else as it goes. All right. All right, I've just got a little bit of white and blue just to give me an idea, a bit of a sketch. Let's work out what we want. We want that headland, maybe about there today. That's the major feature. Just lightly block her in. Bit of that there, bit of that there. Running out that way, bit of that running out there. Just feeling the composition as we go at the moment. Right, so that's there. Let me think. Yeah. That's pretty much got the distant headlands how I want it. Scuffing along like that. And this coming down in here like that. Nice. And a bit of a dark shadow over in there. Beach line here. Alright, well that's pretty much got the composition set out. I can see with that, even though it's only a few basic lines, I can see what's going on. So let's do it. Alright. Darkest darks. I'll get some alizarin crimson, viridian green. That's a nice dark dark. Throw some in here, a bit more of the straight alizarin crimson. We can scrape back to it. Just want to establish some real darks in here in the shadow. And of course I'll put lights over the top, but that's just giving me a feel and giving me something to contrast against. If I've got a big dark patch here, it's going to be easy to do the tonal recession back further because it's always about contrast. That gives you the dark, so everything else will look lighter in relation to it. All right, let's go for a little bit of blue, a bit of magenta and green, a bit of white to lighten the value, green, blue. Let's work this out. So a bit of those greens in, blue greens in here now. Has a nice cool value, a bit of yellow ochre to go with it, just to suggest a little bit of warmth in there. They're nice cool colours. A bit more red here maybe. Red. A bit more of the blues. What are we going to do here? Let's have a look. It'll go down like that. Get that major headland established there where I want it. Cuff her up. Like that. A bit more red. Yeah, that's looking alright. Now we're a bit more blue. There's some real cool shadows kicking around down in here. Right on the edge of the beach here. That'll be the beach, that'll be the water, yep, alright. Got to work out what I'm actually doing. Bit of magenta, a bit of blue. They're the cold blue shadows that will form on the sand dunes there. A few more darks right in here. A bit of magenta, what do we got? Let's have a look. Yeah, a few magentas thrown around. Right, blue, magentas and greens, going to lighten the value now. She's a bit hazy today, she's a bit weakened off. We'll throw some burnt sienna to weaken the chromatic saturation. White to lighten the value, so it can recede tonally. That can be the backdrop there. It's a little bit darker like so. How dark we want to go here. A bit more burnt sienna. It's going a little bit darker here, so I've got room to lighten as I go. bit more blue, a bit more white, neutral colours, lighten the value. Let's have a look at this. Make sure I've got the levels. I haven't got any tape today, didn't bring any tape, so I'm going by eye to get these levels. We want to make sure we get them nice and good. It's just going slightly uphill, but hardly any. That'll chuff up like the main thing there. There'll be a main headland just there. All right, I'll stand back, have a look, see if I've got everything how I want, and then I'll start blocking the rest in. That's all right. Burnt sienna, going to do some skyline here. Get as much of that colour. What am I going to do there? Get as much of that colour covered, because that's not the right colour. So there's a bit of haze there today. We'll go for a fairly neutral grey. See what I'm putting that in. There we go. A little bit of grey colour. Now I can see as I put that in, I just need to darken the horizon here a little bit more, not much, just so it's darker than the sky, of course. So we'll go for some more ultramarine blue and magenta, burnt sienna. Just mixing up a fairly dark neutral value. Pretty good, that's going off nice. It's going well. It's pretty windy up here, but it isn't too bad, you know. It's been worse, that's for sure. Let's darken that value a little. All right, we'll go for some yellow ochre now in the sky with cobalt blue and white. Plenty of white. There's plenty of ochre in the sky today. Let's have a look. I think I've got too much ochre in that, but we'll go with that for now. And then I'll stick some blues on over the top. Plenty of ochre. Throw that in nicely. That'll do. Now, more spectral, or cobalt blue this today. Sometimes I'm using phthalo, sometimes ultramarine, whatever. Today I'm using cobalt blue because I got it in the tube. So that's a little bit cleaner blue. A little bit less white and a little bit less of the other colours, more of just a blue saturation. Then I'll go slightly darker again with more blue and start adding a bit of red, and this form of red is going to be magenta. But I could use the alizarin crimson. Lock that in nicely. Get a coverage. It's all coming together. Let's pull that across. Getting there. So much fun working on location, absolutely love it. Let's pull some of these together now. We'll just stand back and analyse that for a minute, see if I've got things happening how I want it. That's not bad, so we'll keep on going. Hang on, let's just have a look. What do you guys think? Yeah, I've got the camera set up in the right spot, which is good. All right, white, more blue, magenta, bit of burnt sienna to knock it back. I'm just trying to create a fairly dark colour. There's a bit of breeze on the ocean today, so there's a fairly dark value when you squint your eyes down. Let's have a look. Maybe a bit of viridian green with that, just a twang of it. Yeah, she's a pretty dark sky today, we'll go with that. Dark water, I mean. A bit more magenta, burnt sienna, and blue just to get darker again. Just want it to be slightly darker here and more magenta-y colour. There's a bit of weed on the bottom through this section. Alright, now let's go turquoise and white. When I say turquoise, I'm making a turquoise out of viridian green and white. It's got a fair bit of it in the water today. A little bit lighter in value, a bit more white. Now a bit more yellow ochre with that, and white. It's got a bit more of a stirred up sand in the bottom. I'll just stand back and have a look. Alright, let's go some white, magenta, a bit more magenta. What have we got here? Just creating a nice pattern on the edge here. Now a bit of burnt sienna, where the wet sand is. Burnt sienna and white. Twang of magenta with that today. Let's have a look. What colour is that? Yeah, it's close on right. Get some of that green off. More of that burnt sienna. Like that. Just to establish what's going on, I'll throw a little bit of white in already so I can feel the values. That's not pure white. Yeah. That's working out okay. Let's just go for some more white. Yellow ochre, burnt sienna, more white. Just going to knock up a kind of a sand, cliffy colour. It's got a little bit of grey in it today. I'll get some of those grey blues from over in the sky that I was mixing. Throw them in with it to knock the saturation down. More blues than that, so I'll throw more of the blue. Just got to feel it on the day, what's happening. A bit more magenta. Okay, what do we got here? Let's just have a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. Slightly touched, leaving bits showing through because there's very much light and shadow today. What have we got here? Just go there. So, a little bit up here. I'll knock up a bit of the foliage colour now, so we'll go yellow ochre, burnt sienna, bit of viridian green. The light source foliage, a bit more burnt sienna, half mixed, just lightly drop her in. Let's have a look. What do we got? Very lightly touching, letting it come through. Like so. I'll just mix up a little bit of magenta over here with the blue. White. So I've got blue and magenta. Mixing with that foliage colour, that'll send it back a bit. A bit more yellow ochre with that. Not too bad. Right. A bit more of the magenta colour with it to knock the saturation down again. A bit more white, a bit more blue. A bit more white and a bit more blue. As it recedes back, I'm adding more of a colour that kills the intense greens off by adding a magenta and a blue and putting it in with that foliage colour. It's sending it right back into a weaker colour. A bit more blue with that as it gets further away. Alright, let's just have a look. Well, it's coming along alright. I might just add some more white. I'm running out of white, but I'll get some white, some yellow ochre. Need to knock up a beach sand colour. I've already got the colour of the board, which is pretty nice, but maybe a bit of cad colour with it. Definitely got to get the whites out though. That's going to come more in there. Yeah, I'll have to get some more white out. We'll go for some burnt sienna here. There we go. Let's just add a little bit of burnt sienna stuff of the wet sand edge here. All right, get some more white. Okay, I've just got myself some more white. Didn't want to bore you with that, so I flicked the camera off for a minute. Going to use some yellow ochre, cad yellow and white. It seems to be a fairly good colour for this. That can be like that for now. All right. Come along in here. Go for some pure whites. Just want to stick some a little bit of surf in. Surf in there. A bit more of the blue. What do we got here? A bit more of the greens. It's out there. Okay, what I need to do, I'm going to get the brush. Because I'm on board, I like to soften with the brush. It just gives it that little bit extra oomph. So, grab a brush. Let's just, what do we got here? Okay. Soften the edge of that. Wipe that clean to get the muddy mess off it. That's right. Just blend that. Like so. Nice random marks. Gives the feeling and the energy of the plein air painting, working direct from the subject. Pull through like that. Soften that. Wipe that clean. Go that way. It's really starting to give feeling to it. Let me have a look. Just pull a little bit through here and there, not too much. We'll go that one. Pull through, pull through. Alrighty. So with a knife, a little bit more back there. Pull through like that, that's it. Alrighty. Up that clean. Just going to add a little bit of wave action through here. Some disturbances. So out there. Just key it down ever so slightly. I'm just going to take it so it's not pure white anymore, because as it recedes further back, I want the bits of foam to be receding off into the coastal haze. So I've got the knife on edge, really fine lines there. Alright, now we'll just pick this edge out a bit cleaner. Needs to be a darker value. Go for some more blue, magenta and green. Bit of green. Stick more of the shadow of the rocky reef. There's a little bit of reef here and there. The tide's halfway, it's not in or out. There's a little bit coming in here and there, so I'm just putting the shadows of it. There's a tiny little bit of it just here, I noticed. Alright. Yellow ochre, burnt sienna. Bit of disturbed sand all through these areas. A little bit back in the waves here. Disturbed sand coming up from the bottom. Ooh, that's too much. We'll rub that way. Just pull that up clean. That's it. Pull through, wipe clean. A little bit of rocks and weed on the bottom, just coming through. All right, go for some more blue, green and magenta. Just knocking up a bit of that shadow colour again. The foreground here, what do we got? A few shadows, maybe lighten that value ever so slightly. It's just some nice shadows chuffing out here onto the beach. A little bit there. A bit more of those dark values. Just knock a little bit through there. A bit more of those whites. Fine line on edge here, just building up the illusion of detail by putting some fine bits in some focal areas. Knife on edge. All right, hang on, we'll just do a little bit more work here. Get some magenta into some of these browns. A little bit of the yellow, cad yellow. Just want to in the right spot. Knock up a little bit of cliff action where the light is hitting. We've got the shadows, but now we want to hit the light source, just licking along the top edges here and there. Knife on edge. All right, well, you know what? It's a very simple painting, done extremely quickly, and I'm actually going to leave it like that. I could definitely finish it more, and in some ways that'd be lovely, that'd be great. But you know what, there's something really nice about the fact that this has been thrashed together really quickly, just working around evenly over the board, never finishing anything. It's got a random energy about it, and there's a perfect imperfection about it, and there's something really nice about that. Sometimes it's best to leave the painting half finished, because in a way, when you're working on site plein air, there's a kind of energy that you achieve by quickly trying to capture the moment. And as you're trying to capture that moment, this shorthand of your own work, just like your own handwriting, seems to come out in it. Then if you decide to finish it more, you start labouring and you start to actually eliminate that feeling and that shorthand. So some of the energy will get lost in some ways, even though the painting will become more finished. I like what I've got here. I've got true to life colours, broadly and very quickly applied, and there's something really nice about that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Going to get the camera off now, come buzzing right in. You guys can have a look and see what you think. All right.